Did you know that Ozzy Osbourne actually did not urinate on the Alamo? We'll tell you the real story of his infamous 1982 arrest and other lesser-known facts about Ozzy Osbourne in this episode of You Think You Know Classic Rock? Nowadays, nobody would dare mess with metal's legendary Prince of Darkness. But as a child, Ozzy got picked on quite a bit. One of the people doing the taunting? His future bandmate Tony Iommi, who Ozzy says used to bully me all the time when I was at school. Imagine the guitarist's surprise when Ozzy turned up to audition for the group that became Black Sabbath years later. A few years ago, scientists mapped Ozzy's DNA and declared him to be an honest-to-goodness genetic mutant, saying the singer has several gene variants that, quote, we've never seen before. Yes, that explains how he survived all those years of insanely hard partying. Actually, Ozzy doesn't need booze, pills, or powders to put his life in danger. In August of 2013, he nearly burned down his house while trying to make a late-night bacon sandwich. Careful, buddy. If the flames don't get you, the fat and salt will. But do you know who's really lucky to be alive? Ozzy's wife, Sharon Osbourne. Ozzy has admitted several times that his well-documented demons got the worst of him back in September of 1989, when he tried to strangle her to death. Her account of the event is simply horrifying. I was downstairs reading. He came down with just his underpants on, and he said, "We've come to a decision." And I said, "We've?" And he said, "You have to die." And then he just jumped on top of me. Luckily, the couple survived even that nightmare and have gone on to live a happy life together. But what's their sex life like? Well, according to Sharon, their lovemaking is reserved for commercials during late-night television. Ozzy loves David Letterman, she explains. We lie in bed and watch it and he says, "Oh, we've just got time before Letterman's monologue." I lie back and think of the Queen. Or, judging from this photo, maybe Julio Iglesias Jr.? Although Ozzy successfully battled through several drug addiction relapses, with help from Sharon, who recently threatened to put her boot up his you-know-what if it ever happened again, there's one food addiction he simply won't apologize for. No, not bats. The UK breakfast cereal Spooky Puffs, which he sometimes has imported by the caseload over from his homeland. One thing we should have asked those DNA experts from earlier in this video. Was Ozzy Osbourne unknowingly separated from his sister shortly after birth? And did that young child grow up to become a famous television star? Why do we ask? Check out these photos of Ozzy and his celebrity lookalike, Laverne and Shirley's Penny Marshall. Oh, and as for that time Ozzy was arrested for urinating on the Alamo? Well, like we said, he wasn't actually relieving himself on Texas's most famous wall. It's just not true, a guide at the Alamo explained. If he had, the police wouldn't have arrested him. They would have beaten him to within an inch of his life. Instead, Ozzy was caught urinating on the Alamo Cenotaph, a 60-foot-high statue erected near the actual Alamo in 1939 to honor the 189 Texans who died during this famous battle. Okay, but let's end on a happier note, because Lord knows Ozzy's done more good than harm in this world. In fact, back in December of 2011, his music was used by police to help lure a lost autistic child out of the woods. You see, the cops thought their usual alarms and bullhorns would scare the youngster, so instead they played No More Tears, one of the boy's favorite songs, and just like that, they found the grateful young man and brought him back to safety. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more episodes of You Think You Know Classic Rock? Meanwhile, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out more of the best in classic rock coverage on UltimateClassicRock.com.